Councils in the Midlands are preparing to accept some of the 20,000 Syrian refugees the government's committed to helping. Some have already arrived and more are expected in Birmingham in the next day or two. The remainder are currently in camps in the Middle East and will be vetted before they're offered a chance to come to Britain.
Well, we've been talking to the councils about their preparation and people in the towns where the refugees will be settled. First, though, we hear from a young woman who knows what it's like to live in the middle of a Syrian war zone. Here's Mark Goff.
Homs in Syria, one of the cities which has been all but destroyed in the war. For its inhabitants, shooting, bombing and explosions are part of daily life. And so it was for Reem Dukmak, but she's now enjoying a safer life in Coventry. She was an English teacher at university in Homs.
It wasn't far from a battle area. Some of the windows would be smashed. Some students would die while walking on campus. It was very risky at that time. Because it's a big campus, you can't really figure out where the shooting is coming from. And you're not even sure if you'll be hiding in some place, you'll be safe or not. So at that time, I had to make a decision that, if I continued, I'd be just an easy, target. Say an explosion takes place in the neighborhood, then your whole day is ruined. You can't go out, and you might not be able to get your food. You might not be able to go to your job to, secure your basic needs. So these are things that are taken for granted here.
Reem isn't a refugee. She's a student at Warwick University, studying for a PhD in teaching English through drama to refugee children. And she's here under a scheme run by a charity called CARA, the Council for At-Risk Academics, which helps academics in danger spots around the world.
It really makes a big difference. It's about developing skills and acquiring training that is only possible here in an institution like ours, and then potentially going back to their own countries whenever this will be possible to actually help the reconstruction of those countries.
When I arrived here, it was just like a dream, I'd say. I could not believe it. Although I always thought I'd be back again to the UK, this first moment of coming to the university and seeing the campus was a bit of, I'd say, a shock, because at the time I was not believing it, and I remember a friend of mine was accompanying me, and I asked her to, pinch me just to see if this is true or not. You do miss your home, you do feel like you miss your city, the people, your family, your friends, but at the same time you don't really want to go back, because it is the same situations you have been through, and you don't really want to go back until it's over.
But the transition from a war zone to the peace of a British university campus has its own challenges.
It was very hard for me to go back into normal life and see things just like normal people. I'd be afraid of any sounds. I remember the fireworks used to frighten me because these sounded like shooting sounds. So I did come with, as you may expect, traumas and fears. I do thank the university here and Cara, who took an important role in my coming here. But at the same time, I am conscious of thousands of Syrians, be they academics or not, who are still stuck in the war.
She's grateful too to the UK.
I'd be very happy if people do not just look at Syrians as refugees. They are like people, like you are, and they do have their own dreams and their own ambitions, and if we help them at this time, or if you help them at this time when they can't really do these things because of what they're experiencing, you are giving them a great future without even realizing that, because you are just hosting them for, I'd say some time. To come to the UK would mean a whole new life. You are giving people the chance to survive.
Mark Goff, ITV News, Coventry.